Hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to the Flight Sim world. This is Viperstrike 95 here, and welcome back to another installment of our around the world trip. This is day number 54 of our journey. We're back here at Bozeman, Montana at Bozeman Yellowstone International, and today we've got two flights coming here today. However, before we get started, I do want to actually tell you guys first. I hope you all have a great start to your weekend today. It is Friday after all, so the weekend's going to be coming up pretty soon. So thank you guys so much for coming here as always. So we're going to be doing some flying here today. We'll be first flying over to Vancouver today. And then after our flight after we land in Vancouver, we'll prepare to fly up to Ketchikan, Alaska. Now I know a lot of you thinking, Viper, wasn't your original plan was to actually do Bozeman to Spokane to Vancouver? Yes, that was the original plan, but the reason I decided to actually do this was because on Sunday, turns out I actually have an event at 11 a.m., so I could not get the stream for that. So I decided, you know what? How about combining today's stream and Sunday's stream, what would have been today and Sunday's stream, into one total stream? So that's what we're going to be doing today. We get some pre-sync flying on the route. That is why we're doing it the way we're doing it today. So, before we get started, I want to say hello to the chat. Of course, my moderator, Super Typhon. Good to have you here. Morning, my dude. And hello to all the lurkers here in the chat as well. Welcome on in, everyone. So, of course, we're taking the Firefly Air 737-800 today on this trip. Which I think will be perfectly fine. Plus, it's one of the largest planes that can land at Ketchikan. So, that's what we're going to take today on this trip. So, yeah, beautiful morning in Bozeman. If you guys aren't aware about Bozeman, Montana's airport, this, believe it or not, is actually Montana's largest airport, and it is absolutely gorgeous. You got the beautiful mountainside. You got Sacagawea Peak and the mountain range all within the other side of this park, so you get a beautiful view of beautiful Montana. Go ahead and right. We're going to get this power connect. So this first flight, by the way, is going to be about 560 nautical miles. So we'll be flying through some pretty nice scenery. We'll be flying through some of the Montana scenery in Montana, northern Idaho, and the Cascade Mountain Range of Washington. So this should be a pretty fun flight. So let's go over the flight plan for our trip over to Bozeman, Montana. Boo-boo. So we're gonna go. I'm gonna go ahead and go back to 3, 6. Flight level 360, 259. This. We're gonna go ahead and take this. going to go ahead and turn that way. Okay, yeah. Yeah, my IRS didn't have initially when I started this. We're gonna go ahead and we go into our first flight. We're gonna go make our way over to beautiful Vancouver. So this will be about 1 hour and 32-minute flight time from Bozeman over to Vancouver. Should be about an hour and 32, and I bet it'll be a similar amount of time to get from Vancouver over to Ketchikan. Similar amount of time. So, but yeah, I wanted to do the two flights, do to those lakes today, since that way I didn't have to worry about. Didn't want to worry about having to do two legs. I want to get caught up to it. I thought doing those two would be a smart idea. Okay. Beautiful Bozeman. What a scenic department. Officially passing up. Blast off from Bozeman. So guys, I hope you all had a great week so far. We don't really have too many more news to talk about, but I do want to cover a bit about. I know Frankfurt just got released yesterday by Aerosoft, the massive airport released by Aerosoft. Absolutely huge airport. Honestly, like I said, I'm glad someone made series for Frankfurt. There needs to be someone that does DFW though. I mean, if Atlanta, LAX, San Francisco, Denver can all get series, why hasn't someone done Dallas Fort Worth? Maybe it's too big, but then again, Denver's an absolutely colossal airport, and they brought that. This airport is 25 euros, but to be fair, I mean, Frank, Frankfurt is one of the most important airports in the world because there's so many direct routes that get into Frankfurt. Dang. That's what we're going to be doing here today. That's a pretty big news. Say attention's co-pilot. That's pretty important. So there really is not too many big news though on the flight sim world. But I do want to talk a little bit about college football. I wouldn't be around on Sunday. So I wouldn't be around Sunday. So I do want to talk a little bit about college football since scheduled this week. Tonight's going to be some pretty important games. Mainly Indiana's going to be playing tonight. I believe this might be one of their first games of the season. Hoosiers. Oh, actually, second game of the season. They already beat FIU yesterday. They beat FIU last week. They'll play against Western Illinois, so I think Indiana's going to get me 2-0 in the season. So, man, Indiana's schedule is going to be tough in the Big Ten. They have UCLA, Nebraska, Washington, Michigan, and Ohio State. Not a very schedule. Also, BYU and SMU play tonight, and Duke Northwestern. But the big matchups are on Sunday, and obviously the big matchup is Texas Michigan. Top 10 matchup between Texas and Michigan at the Big House, Ann Arbor. That should always be a pretty exciting matchup. But other big ones is Arkansas, Oklahoma State, in Stillwater, Oklahoma, Kansas, K-State, Tulane. That's a pretty important one. Week. The battle for the Cyhawk trophies as well between Iowa and Iowa State. Baylor, Utah, one of the first Big 12 conference games this season for the Big 12. Maryland, you have Cal Auburn. That's a decent one. South Carolina, Kentucky, one of the first SEC games this conference, as well as Michigan State and Maryland. That should be pretty fun. Kansas versus Illinois, that should be a good one. Kansas, Illinois should be a fun one. Tennessee, NC State, and Charlotte, that's going to be a very exciting game between two top 25 teams. Boise State, Oregon should be fun. Don't underestimate the Boise State Broncos. So I think there should be some pretty fun matchups this week for college football. College game days in Ann Arbor, by the way. In terms of other sports, Major League Baseball, I want to talk a little bit about baseball standings for a bit. The Orioles and Yankees are still the top two in the East, and they're clearly separating themselves from the other three teams in the American League Central. The Guardians are number 1 by 4 games ahead of second place Twins. The White Sox are beyond horrible this year. No joke, they might be projected to be the worst team ever, which I can't even believe that's even going to be. In the American League West, the Astros are the best team in the West, followed by the American Rangers. The A's are actually finishing below the Angels are finishing below the Athletics. Pretty insane to think about. In the National League East, the Phillies are clearly the best team in that division. One of the two best teams in the National League this year. The Marlins are last. Central, we would say the Brewers are convincingly ahead of everyone else in the Central. And finally, in the National League West, it's all Dodgers, but the Padres and Diamondbacks are clearly playoff contenders. So I think that's about baseball. Also, the NFL did play last night. The Chiefs and Ravens did. That should be a very exciting week one, with the Chiefs winning by 7. With the Chiefs winning by 7 points, 27-20. Yeah, the Colts this week are going to play the Texans, and this should be a fun one. Let's hope Anthony Richardson plays for a full season, because Richardson versus Stroud's going to be a pretty fun matchup. I hope Richardson plays well in his second season. I don't know how tough these could truly be. So, soon we'll actually visit Butte, Montana. If you guys aren't aware, we'll be flying over Butte first, which was established as a mining camp in 1864. It's actually Montana's 5th largest city. It was one of the largest copper boom towns in the American West, and it attracted a lot of immigrants, of Asian and European immigrants. In fact, as of 2017, it has the largest populations of Irish Americans per capita of any U.S. city. It's also very well known for It's also home to the Granite Mountain disaster, the largest hard rock disaster in history, in world history. And it's well known for its ore. It's generated over $48 billion of ore throughout its history. And it's home to the largest Superfund site in the nation, the Berkeley Pit, which is about 1 mile wide, 1 mile long, 1/2 mile wide, and a depth of over 1,700 feet. So it's a big mine town. I think we could see it when we get to Butte. If you look to your right, you can actually see Berkeley Pit. There's Berkeley Pit right there. See right here? There's the Berkeley Pit. That's where they did a lot of the ore mining back in the old days here in Montana. There's the mine. Yeah, that's all mine. There's the town. There's the city itself, and there's the mine. It's as big as the town. Boone actually, it's also got lots of historical sites too, including the Copper King Mansion, which was a 34-room Romanesque Victorian house that was built between 1884 to 1888. It was the residence of William Andrew Clark, one of the 3 famous Copper Kings of Montana. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. In this town, also featured in numerous films, including Boot native Evel Knievel. which actually he is a native of Butte, Montana, and he's probably one of the most famous people. He's actually a native of Butte. He was also featured in the film Runaway Train in 1985. But some other people that are well known for Butte, Montana include defensive back Cole Anderson, Robert Magnet, William Andrews Clark Sr., born Kirby Grant. He was born in Butte. He played in the Western themed TV series Sky King. Kirby Grant. And former U.S. Navy SEAL Robert J. O'Neill. He was also born in Butte. So quite a few famous people born in that part of Montana. We're also flying over Anaconda as well. The scenery around this part of Montana is just gorgeous scenery. I really do want to visit the state as well. Montana's just so nice during this time of year. In the fall would be a glorious time of the year to check out. This area is just so once we make our way to Vancouver, we'll have a quick break in Vancouver International Airport. And we'll prepare for the next leg to Ketchikan, Alaska. That's what we're going to be doing today. Combine 2 streams into 1. So if you look to our right, we can see some of the mountain valleys. This is the valley that's separated by the Bitterroot National Forest around the western border between Idaho and Montana. In that valley over here is the city of Missoula, home to the University of Montana. Another very beautiful city to visit to in Montana. Oh, thank you, Typhon, for the bot ban. Yeah, just beautiful scene right here and today. So we'll make our way over. So we're about to cross over to Idaho for a bit. So there's a pretty interesting, fun information about Idaho. We'll briefly enter into Idaho. So Idaho is really interesting as it's actually the 14th largest state by land area, but it's actually the 13th least populous state in the country with only 1.8 million people. The capital largest city is Boise, is the capital largest city. Boise is definitely well known for its food industries and food processing, lumber, wood products, machinery, and more. Um, One of the big parts, of course, agriculture. I think a lot of people know Idaho grows lots of potatoes, but also tourism is a big importance. Is tourism. But of course, one of the nice things about Idaho is its geography. It actually shares 6 borders with 6 U.S. states and 1 Canadian province. To the west, you have Oregon and Washington. To the south are Utah and Nevada. And Montana, Wyoming to the east. And it also shares a province with British Columbia in the north. It has some of the most rugged landscape and unspoiled areas in the United States, due to the fact Idaho really isn't developed very much. This includes the Frank Church River No Return Wilderness Area. Is the largest contiguous area of protected wilderness in the continental United States. And of course, there's also Hell's Canyon that runs along Snake River, and the Shoshone Falls, which is actually even higher in height than even Niagara. In fact, Hell's Canyon is also the deepest gorge in the United States, but most importantly, central Idaho's got tons of beautiful mountains and all that, making Idaho an absolute nature lover's paradise. Idaho has some amazing geography, some absolutely incredible peak. In addition to this, its highest point is Bora Peak, which is 12,622 feet. It features Idaho's most famous mountain range, the Sawtooth Range, central Idaho. Which, of course, the Sawtooth Range has got tons of bush trips. So if you're a bush pilot, Idaho is like paradise. for all you bush pipe. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're in the northern Idaho, and one of the places you can find northern Idaho is the city of Coeur d'Alene, a very popular destination for a lot of people to explore. Idaho is absolutely gorgeous this time of year. Absolutely. So as soon as that, we're gonna cross over into Washington, which is to the west. Yeah, the state of Washington, it's called Washington State. It's actually often referred to Washington State. Borders the Pacific Northwest, Oregon, Idaho, and the international border with British Columbia. The capital is actually in Olympia, which is Washington's 23rd most populous city. However, its state capital is Seattle. Its populous city is actually in Seattle. It's the 18th largest state in the United States by land area, 13th most populous state with over 7.8 million people. The majority live around the Seattle metropolitan area, the center of transportation, business, and industry in the Puget Sound. Um, it's actually the second most populous state in the West Coast after California, and it's home to Mount Rainier, the state's highest elevation at 14,400 feet, and is the most topographically prominent mountain in the contiguous 48. It's a leading lumber producer as well as the large producer of apples, hops, pears, blueberries, spearmint oil, and sweet cherries in the country, as well as highly ranked in production of apricots, asparagus, grapes, and potatoes. And of course, it has a rich manufacturing history, mainly with aircraft, missiles, and shipbuilding, especially with technology. Washington didn't become a state until 1809, making it the 42nd state in the Union. And it has a pretty cool history. Things about it, its geography. There's basically two halves to Washington, East and West Washington. So to the east, which we're about to fly over currently, eastern Washington is relatively dry in climate. It has semi-arid steppe and truly few arid deserts in the rain shadow of the Cascade Mountains. However, despite limited rainfall, agriculture is actually really mainly in the area of the Palouse. The western half of Washington is to the west of it, and that is mild temperatures, wet winters, and relatively dry summers. Of course, it's also we can find a lot of the volcanoes, particularly Mount Baker, Mount Rainier, Mount St. Helens, and Mount Adams as well. It's also home to the Olympic Mountains, and it has temperate rainforest. Are some of the only rainforests you can find in the continental 48, United States. Of course, we all know Seattle is the largest city in we all know Seattle is the largest city in Washington. But number two is, I believe, I want to look at of course, we're going to be flying over Spokane, Washington very soon. There's Fleur de Aline. If you look further west, there's Spokane, Washington. Spokane is actually Washington State's the largest city in the eastern half of Washington, with 220,000 people, which actually makes it Washington's second largest city after Seattle. Spokane's definitely most well known for being the birthplace of Father's Day, as was founded here in the city. It also goes by Hoot Town USA, the world's largest basketball tournament, is hosted here. Spokane got its name after the native Spokane tribe of Native Americans that inhabited this part of Washington and northern Idaho. Pretty cool stuff about the city of Spokane, Washington. It's also home to Gonzaga University. The main college here is the private University of Gonzaga. Yeah, there's Spokane, Washington to our right. Is Spokane. We're gonna make our way down to I don't think we have to wait. How much longer would be till we make top ascent? Vancouver. I don't have a while back. Hey, we got a fall from T Benny. Good to see you, T Benny. Thank you so much for the fall, my dude. We're gonna be heading our way over to Vancouver very soon. Don't have too much longer to top of descent. We're doing this for my around the world trip, visiting every country in the world. So I'm doing this all in one contiguous trip. So we're making our way over to Vancouver for the first leg of our trip. We got one more leg coming up after this from Vancouver over to Ketchikan, Alaska. So welcome on in. Thanks for coming by. We're going to go ahead and make our way over here shortly. Beautiful state of Washington. One of the other things about the state that makes things pretty interesting, of course, the scenery here in Eastern Washington. Now, I know a lot of you thinking, looks similar to Indiana, like with all their terrain, but there's way more scenery diversity in this half of Washington, in the east. Got like rolling hills and all that. Of course, we'll be heading through the North Cascades National Park. That's where we're going to be heading to next for this. We'll make our way over to now around this area is the Cascades, of course, North Cascade National Park. However, the sad news about this is I can't really do um GeoGuessr anymore because I have to have a subscription to play GeoGuessr. I can't really do GeoGuessr anymore because of it. have too much longer to go to our stop here in Vancouver, of course. Our top of descent is going within 40 nautical miles. I'm going to go ahead and set to adjust to. I know Two-Tone Murray's going to be here later today. He'll be on later today. He'll be doing a flight over New England. Should be a lot of fun. He'll be doing some flights across the New England area. Um, he'll be doing flying starting at Simsbury Airport, then make their way to Providence, Rhode Island, then fly over to Beverly Airport, through Boston, and finally back to Simsbury Airport. Yeah, it should be some pretty nice flying in New England, and I know Allison's gonna be back tomorrow. She'll be back in her street doing another leg of her historical flight recreation from Butterworth, Malaysia, all the way to Singapore. Shouldn't take too long of a flight. About she said about 4 hours. This wouldn't be that long of a flight. Oh, there's West Coast Willie. So that's where we're going to be going. So we're about to descend into Vancouver. Yeah, look at the scenery here, guys. So we're about to fly over North Cascades National Park. Beautiful national park is about 500,000 acres in size. It's the largest of the 3 National Park Service units in the complex. It became a national park in 1968. About 30,000 people visited in 2022. But it's a gorgeous area, and it's got tons of beautiful mountains. And there's plenty to do around here, mainly camping, hiking, bicycling, and especially mountaineering. Very popular mountaineering. Just gorgeous scene. Just gorgeous landscape here in this part of Washington. What a gorgeous scene. Here is absolutely breathtaking. Yeah, some amazing bush flying and all that. Washington's a gorgeous state. Get the chance to get around this area. Gorgeous scene. Yeah, we'll make our way over to Vancouver very shortly. I don't think we have to wait too long for the back to Vancouver. Also, we can see Mount Baker in front of us is the volcano Mount Baker. Right there in front of us. Yes, you can see here in the mountainside. I mean, this is just a gorgeous area to fly over. And when you ever arrive in the airlines, this is a gorgeous place to fly over. We'll be arriving in the city of Vancouver. Got my slideshow ready for today. That'll be a good time we check out the first slide of the trip. Vancouver, Canada, actually. This is more like Vancouver, British Columbia. This is actually the most populous city of British Columbia. 662,000 people live here as of the 2021 census. Its metropolitan area is 2.6 million, which makes it Canada's third largest metropolitan area after Toronto and Montreal. It's also the most densely populated city in all of Canada with 5,700 inhabitants per square kilometer and the fourth most densely populated city in North America after New York City, San Francisco, and Mexico City. It's also a very ethnically and linguistically diverse city, with 49.3% of its residents not native English speakers and 47.8% are native speakers in either English or French, and over half belong to visible minority groups. It's also among the most livable cities in Canada and the world. And it's also one of the world's most expensive cities too. People have been around Vancouver for over 10,000 years ago, with the indigenous people like the Squamish, Musqueam, and the Tsili Watuff peoples. But the modern city didn't grow until 1867, however. It was established as Granville before renaming itself to Vancouver through a deal with the Canada Pacific Railway. It hosted many international conferences and events, including the 1954 Commonwealth Games, the Expo 86, several matches of the 2015 FIFA Cup, and the 2010 Winter Olympics and Paralympics were hosted here. And the port of Vancouver is the fourth largest port by tonnage in North America, in the Americas, as well as the largest and busiest port in Canada, and the most diversified port in North America. Also, many films were shot here, making it called Hollywood North. So Vancouver, definitely a really cool city. I really am interested in checking out. I enjoyed Victoria, so I'm curious how. So Vancouver, definitely one of the really cool cities in all of Canada. It's also home to Vancouver International Airport. Vancouver International Airport.
I can only do that once I verify your voice. Try going to assistant settings, then checking your voice match.
Whoops. Vancouver International, Canada's second busiest airport. It's Charlie Yankee Victor Romeo. 24 million people visited Vancouver International last year. It's still greatly behind Toronto. But the one thing Vancouver is definitely well known for is it's a major trans-Pacific hub. In fact, believe it or not, this airport has more direct flights to China than any airport in North America and Europe. Pretty crazy to think about. It's a hub for both Air Canada and WestJet, and it's one of the 8 Canadian airports that have U.S. border pre-clearance facilities. And it's been one of the world's best airports, especially it's the highest rated airport in North America for 12 consecutive years by Skytrax. It's also Firefly Air's very own hub in Canada, beautiful Vancouver. Truly great airport, tons of flights internationally to destinations in Europe, North America, and Asia. Some of these flights include Brisbane. Air Canada flies out of Vancouver to Brisbane, Calgary, Cancun, Chicago, Denver, Edmonton, Toronto, London, Montreal. They actually fly all the way to Halifax, even one of the longest flights domestically, Halifax. It can serve Tokyo, Seattle, Auckland, Sydney, Taipei, Frankfurt, Zurich, Shenzhen, Reykjavik, Seoul, Amsterdam, Munich, Manila. This thing flies all over the place in Vancouver. Pretty crazy how many people fly over to Vancouver International. Oh, what was that? That was that Google thing downstairs. Apparently, that was apparently got my voice. And did something like that. That's what it was. So we're about to make our way down to Vancouver International. So we're going to be heading to Vancouver very soon. So here's Mount Baker. If you look way back there, there is Mount Rainier. You can actually still see it way up there. So, but yeah, here we go, guys. So, we're gonna make our way to Vancouver. We'll be about approaching. Let's see what I can get my landing for. We'll stop here for a bit and then prepare for the next flight back to Ketchikan, Alaska. So we're gonna make sure we're gonna. Man, this area is just gorgeous here. Valleys and all that is just breathtaking. And then this. There it is, guys. First lane of the day here in beautiful Vancouver, British Columbia. Hmm. Here we go, guys. Here we are. First stop of the day. We'll have a quick first stop, and then we'll get readjust the flight plan back up for Ketchikan, Alaska. we'll just stop here in this parking thing for a bit, get refueled, and fly straight back. I'll temporarily stop right here, and we'll get I'll get the rest of the flight plans sorted out for the trip. Okay. Let's go ahead and this next flight plan leg loaded up. I'm gonna go ahead and do the next leg to Ketchikan, Alaska. So we're gonna left. Go ahead and do this. Okay. So we're gonna go ahead and prepare for the takeoff. We're gonna take off at 26 left. For 2,000 feet. One last leg left to go. This flight here, from here to Ketchikan, will be another 1 hour and 30-minute flight. So this one will be another hour 30-minute flight. Should be a pretty fun one. I know Merce already started with his stream today. But we'll rate him after the flight. The scenery here for Vancouver, by the way, is a freeware. Yeah, here it is. It's one of the freeware sceneries. It's Project YVR.
80 knots. Rebooting. Positive rate of climb.
When we depart Vancouver, we officially make our way over to Ketchikan, Alaska. Goodbye, Vancouver. Great visiting you. And now we're off. Our next destination here, Alaska. So guys, I hope you're having a great weekend. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I'll be attending a company picnic on Sunday with Hilrick and Bradsby. So we'll climb it to 32,000 feet. Oh, hey, we got Ray from Dryden with the Party 12. Good to see you, my guys. Welcome on in, everyone, to my Friday around the world trip. We're actually doing leg 2 of our stream. We did one leg earlier from Bozeman over to Vancouver, which was an absolutely gorgeous trip to the Montana, Idaho, and Washington scenery. And now we're going to head up to the beginning the Inside Passage of Alaska to Ketchikan. The reason I did this was originally supposed to be 2 different streams. One was supposed to be Bozeman to Vancouver on one stream. The other was Vancouver over to Ketchikan in the DC-6, but I decided to do both in one because I have an event on Sunday, so I can't attend here Saturday. I decided to do that. But I hope you had a great stream, Dryzen. No worries about rain and running. Appreciate you bringing your viewers here. If you guys aren't aware about who I am, I'm Viperstrike 95. I've been streaming here since 2021. I've been playing The Sims since 2020 when it first came out. So we're going to be heading here. So talk about British Columbia for a bit, since we'll be going through British Columbia, BC. British Columbia is actually one of the bigger regions in all of Canada. It's actually bordered by the Yukon Territory and Northwest Territories to the north, Alberta to the south by the U.S. states of Washington and Idaho, and the U.S. state of Alaska to the west. Also Montana, too. It's actually the 3rd most populous province in Canada with over 5 million people. It's only behind Ontario and Quebec in terms of population. Its capital is actually in Victoria, capital city, which I have visited, by the way, during that time. Beautiful town, beautiful city. Got lots of really cool buildings and stuff. But one of the big things that this province is known for, it has some of the most scenic areas in all of Canada, because its geography is extremely diverse between Coast Mountain, the Inside Passage, more. I'll talk more about the Inside Passage when we get to Southeast Alaska, because that's where we're going to be flying next Friday. Is going to be in the Inside Passage, Southeast Alaska. There's also lots of coastal regions in the Pacific. So you have all sorts of different climates, from semi-arid valleys and dry inland forests to subalpine climate in the high mountains to the Pacific coast. Well, create some really unique climates and stuff. And that's why British Columbia is definitely a really cool area to visit for natural scenery, and there's plenty to do here in the province. From arts to its unique culture, mainly with seafood, like different types of sushi, as well as non-seafood staples like Spring Island lamb, Kappa Dog street food, and butter chicken pizza. And of course, the Nanaimo bars, which consist of wafer, nut, and coconut crumb base, custard icing, and layered chocolate ganache. And of course, people love to visit British Columbia for the outdoors. Between its coast, lake, rivers, forest, mountainous terrain, proper for hiking, camping, rock climbing, mountaineering, hunting, and fishing. Water sports are also popular, kayaking to whitewater rafting, sailing and sailboarding, cross-country, skiing, snowboarding. There's just a lot of opportunities for British Canadians British Columbians to actually enjoy the outdoors. Really cool area. Definitely worth checking out. Yeah, and if you look at this region, Breathe is gorgeous. Don't get tired of flying in British Columbia. It's an amazing city. That's why people picked it as a hub for a virtual airline, Firefly Air. There's a reason it was picked as our hub. Go ahead and get. So our next place we're gonna. So right here to our left is Vancouver Island. Now, Vancouver Island, for you guys that are aware, is one of the larger islands in the province of British Columbia. And Victoria, the capital, is actually found in the southeastern tip. This island is actually the largest area among the West Coast islands. It's about 400. It's about 283 miles in length, 62 miles at its widest point, and a total area of 32,100 square kilometers, or 12,400 square miles. It's actually the 11th largest island in Canada and the 43rd largest in the world. And it's the second most populated island. Yes, because there is one more island that's more populous, and it's the island of Montreal. Yes, Montreal is actually built on an island. Crazy as it sounds. Really cool stuff. A lot of the industry here is logging has dominated much of this island. First was logging. Fishing is also a big deal with Atlantic salmon and fish farms. In recent years, tourism is a big deal between sport fishing, whale watching, hiking, diving, and surfing. And many times you can get to these islands via either mostly in ferries between places such as from Vancouver, Prince Rupert, Port Hardy can get to some of these areas. Even from the United States under the Washington State ferries as well. But the major airport on this island is Victoria International. Charlie Yankee Yankee Juliet is the major airport of the island. Just gorgeous scenery across, and we're going to be flying over pretty much a lot of scenery and stuff too on this trip to Ketchikan, Alaska. So if you guys wonder why I'm decided to fly to Ketchikan, it's because next Friday, the next time I'll be streaming, there will be a GA expedition of Southeast Alaska. We'll be going through Ketchikan over to Wrangell, Petersburg, Sitka, Puna, and Juneau. Which should be some really exciting flying through much of the general aviation stuff. Scenery is going to be outstanding throughout. Because if you guys are unaware, I've been to Southeast Alaska in real life. It is absolutely gorgeous. Now set up for next Sunday's flight, which is going to fly over to, which is all the way to Top, Alaska, which will set up for the eventual flights to Denali National Park in Anchorage. But we will be flying through a lot of other beautiful areas, Glacier Bay, Wrangell National Park and Preserve, and all that. So we've got some beautiful national parks and beautiful. One of the really cool things about British Columbia, one of the really cool things about in this area is just scenery. One thing British Columbia is just fantastic for in the sim is just it's for general aviation. There's so many beautiful GA airports nestled in the British Columbia area. There's For example, around Vancouver, you have Chilliwack, right near the banks of the Fraser River. You got Squamish, which is just north of it. Go through the Howe Sound, you get to Squamish, a beautiful little GA airport nestled right in the mountains of Garibaldi. There's also Pemberton as well. Then, of course, northeast, you got airports like Kelowna and Kamloops. You could test your regional airline skills through these mountains. And, of course, you got Rivers Inlet, Bella Coola, Stewart, Rupert, Terrence. All these beautiful, beautiful airports nestled right in the beautiful British Columbia. And that's why it's a GA's paradise in Canada. For the best general aviation in the entire country of Canada. Just an incredible place to visit for that type of flying. Really, really incredible. Just insane. This is incredible. Well, got you a little bit of time so you guys can enjoy the scenery of this airport. So our first waypoint is going to be at Port Hardy, Yankee Zoo Tango BOR, Port Hardy, right on the basis of the Inside Passage of Alaska. Inside Passage. I'll talk more about it later, but just a brief summary. The Inside Passage is basically a coastal route for ships and boats along the number of passages in the Pacific Northwest. And they go all the way from Seattle to Skagway. Very popular for a lot of cruise ships. Cruise ships love to travel through this area, as well as freighters, fishing craft and ships along the Alaska Marine Highway, BC ferries. It was often used during the Klondike Gold Rush to carry a lot of gold rushers northward. And of course, cruise ships use this area, which I've been through here plenty of times during my time exploring this area. And I've done plenty of that. We're going to move ahead and turn left, and we'll go through the coastline of British Columbia. So a lot of people, for tourism, a lot of people in the Inside Passage use this opportunity for wildlife viewing, boating, fishing, kayaking, camping, and hiking. But of course, the most popular way to explore is with the cruise ship. Over 2 million people take cruises here every year. And there are few restrictions to ship sizes. And mainly for the Inside Passage, a lot of cruise ships usually go to. There are 3 main ports on the cruise ships to visit to in the Inside Passage: Ketchikan, Juneau, and Skagway are the main ship ports for cruises in Alaska. The other place they often visit to is Victoria. If you're from Seattle, you go to Victoria. And if you're sailing out of Vancouver, it might be either Sitka or Hoona. So we're just around 370 355 nautical miles from our destination here in Ketchikan, so we'll continue through the coast, the British Columbian coast. So we'll be making our way further up. So I do have some pictures from my time here in British Columbia. I have them right in travel chat. On my Discord, so here we go. So here's what I've been to on my trips. This is Victoria, British Columbia, so I got some pictures of that. Here's what the port was. So here's the port of Victoria, British Columbia. So we're around the harbor. And this was from earlier this year, actually. So I went to Victoria. Now, we didn't stop in Victoria during our flight, but so there's the famous Empress Hotel here in Victoria, known for its gardens and stuff. So here's the Empress, and there's also more downtown. So there's like the walkable downtown street area, as you guys can tell. And of course, here we have there's like built there's many of these old buildings across downtown. There is Victoria's Chinatown in Victoria. Fun fact about Victoria's Chinatown, it's actually one of the larger Chinatowns during its time. Chinatown definitely is a pretty well-known neighborhood. It's actually the oldest Chinatown in all of Canada and the second oldest in North America behind San Francisco. It attracts a lot of visitors and residents too. So it's Chinatown definitely very well known. Like, it was pretty nice to visit a little bit of Chinatown, but we mainly just explored the British Columbia Museum, BC Museum, so you got to see more of that. There's Victoria Harbor, which you can see the BC Parliament building and all that from here. But I mean, it was an absolutely gorgeous day, and I mean, throughout the entire trip, we just lucked out on the weather in Victoria. That's a very likely just be able to skip out the weather. Never have to really worry about all. Got some beautiful stuff. Harbor. Got to see Harbor Air. This is their terminal for seaplanes. But it's a gorgeous place. There's Queen Victoria with the Parliament building. Like I said, I was so glad I got to actually see more Victoria this time, and I really enjoyed it. And that's what inspired us to do another Canada New England thing. But it's an absolute gorgeous area. Absolutely gorgeous. Then we checked out the Royal British Columbia Museum, BC Museum, which is really cool. Got tons of great little exhibits in this area. Got to explore the really cool exhibits. It was a super nice little museum. Yeah, Victoria is such a beautiful city. Would love to visit there. That's why I wanted to explore Vancouver a bit more. So I think I really do want to check that out again. Victoria is such a pretty city. That's why I really want to check out Vancouver too. Really cool stuff all around. So of course we're right on the coast, within the inside passage. We're just 276 nautical miles from our final stop here in beautiful Ketchikan, Alaska. We're going to do the Arnout 11 approach. This should be just landing. It'll certainly be better than the time I landed the 146 thing. Also, another thing too about this, dude, they're both company routes from our Vancouver hub as well. It's pretty nice. So let's see how much far we have until our top of the descent here in Ketchikan, Alaska. Okay, about 100 nautical miles till top of descent. Don't have too much far left to go. Yeah, we'll talk plenty about Alaska too on next Fridays. Should be a pretty nice flight. But yeah, I think everything should be going pretty good, as always. But I think I really do hope someone makes one for Denver, for Dallas Fort Worth. So I'll be taking a quick bob break. I'm gonna go take a quick bob break. I'll be right back there. Alright, I'm back. So we're back here in the air. I'm going to go ahead and set this up for 2,400 feet to Ketchikan, Alaska. So we're about to make top descent here very soon. We're just about 40 nautical miles from our top descent over to Ketchikan. So, yeah, the scenery out here looks crazy. Beautiful coastline scenery. British Columbia has so many beautiful coasts, rivers, like really fun to visit this area. So about Ketchikan, Alaska, which is where we're going to be visiting today. I've been to Ketchikan twice already. The first time back in 2022, I visited Ketchikan's. Um, First time we visited downtown, we did a lumberjack show. It was kind of fun and interesting to actually do some visiting in. which was kind of fun. And then the other time we visited was 2024, which we did a Zodiac expedition. We went from Ketchikan over to way up in Beaver Falls, which was the side of a road, and we went through the Alaska wilderness, which was super cool to visit. We're in the interior of Alaska. It was super cool. It shows Alaska's true beauty. I got more of these pictures. I guess if you guys want me to, I'll show you some of the pictures that we did in Ketchikan earlier in the year. So to our right is the city of Prince Rupert. Prince Rupert's going to be quite a bit of a commercial spot too. descending to Ketchikan, Alaska. So Ketchikan, Alaska is where we're going to be going for this. Ketchikan, Alaska, located in southeast Alaska. It is actually the southernmost city in all of Alaska. Population 8,192 people. It's the 6th most populous city in the state and the 13th most populous community in Alaska. This city is it was incorporated in 1900. It's named after Ketchikan Creek, which flows through the town. This city was most well known for being Alaska's first city due to its strategic position in the southern tip of the passage. It's also home to the world's largest collection of standing totem poles found throughout the city and at 4 major locations: Saxman Totem Park, Totem Blight State Park, Potlatch Park, and Totem Heritage Center. This area is well known for its mild maritime climate, and of course, it can be quite rainy in Alaska. It's called the rain capital of Alaska. Rainfall averages between 149 inches per year to more throughout the year, which is quite a lot for Alaska. Of course, Ketchikan's most well known for its industries, mainly for government services, tourism, and commercial fishing. A lot of tourists come here through due to its cruise ship stop. For 40 different cruise ships, making over 500 stops in the harbor per year. Of course, you also have the Misty Fjords National Monument worth visiting. It's got a rich marine life. A lot of marine fishing is a big deal. It's a well-known people. Ketchikan include professional golfer Danny Edwards, Tlingit artist Nathan Jackson, former U.S. Senator Frank Morosky, and finally, Tlingit statesman William Paul. And several films have been featured here too, like The Civil Horde, Spawn of the North, and Cry Vengeance, as well as TV programs like The Love Boat and Baywatch were filmed here too. So that talks about Ketchikan, Alaska. And finally, its airport is Ketchikan International, Papa Alpha Kilo Tango, located one nautical mile west of the Ketchikan. It actually has no direct road access. In fact, if you want to access this airport, you have to take a 7-minute ferry across the water. Last year, about 108,000 people flew out of this airport here. The current airport opened in 1973, mainly flying jetliners like the 72 and 737 planes flown here. It's currently served by Alaska Airlines and Delta. Alaska Airlines flies the 737 and 737-800 to this airport. to destinations like Juneau, Seattle, Sitka, and Wrangell are some of the destinations out of Ketchikan, Alaska. Actually, it's about 300,000 passengers last year. Most fly in Alaska to Seattle. That's a little bit about Juneau, about Ketchikan, Alaska. It might be quite a foggy day. So I do have some pictures from Ketchikan if you guys want me to show you some bit of it. So here's some pictures I had for last year, or not for last year, but earlier this year. So we did a Zodiac expedition in Ketchikan. Got to explore the beautiful scenery here. There's downtown Ketchikan. We were docked right near downtown. Like I said, this area is gorgeous. That's the one thing I love about Alaska is the scenery in Alaska just doesn't get old. Unbelievable. Of course, there's lots of floatplane stuff around Ketchikan. Cool stuff. Here's some floodplain stuff. Here. So here's the signs of Ketchikan. Plenty of floodplain stuff, and this is where we did our Zodiac trip. We went through this area, and we did the whole Zodiac trip. For years. I mean, this was just the forest leading up to the cannery. Gorgeous, like, waterfall. Alaska forest. There's me on that Zodiac. I mean, you got to see Alaska's gorgeous sea. Tons of pictures. Alaska. There's like we get to see a few wildlife. We got to see a few seals, eagles. Got to see bald eagles. Oh, look at that bald eagle. Yeah, the scenery in this part of Alaska is breathtaking. Like I said, that's the one thing I love about Alaska is it's can't wait to start flying to their um flying to their soon. So so here we go, guys. Here we go, guys. See our predictions for today. least this time I like with the 146. Auto throttle. This should be. Here we go, guys. Final lane of the day. Here we go, guys. Welcome to Ketchikan, everyone. We made it here safely. Really good landing. Very smooth. What a good landing. I'm pretty. So we made it to Ketchikan. Hey guys, we made it to Alaska. That was a nice trip. Here's our airport. Welcome to Ketchikan, Alaska. There. So guys, officially made it beautiful in Alaska. So guys, thank you all so much for coming here today. I know this has been a longer stream than usual, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. There will be no stream on Sunday. Like I said earlier, there will be no stream on Sunday. We'll be doing I have an event going on, so there'll be no stream. So see you guys back on Wednesday. I'll let you guys know the schedule. So let's go ahead and raid Two-Toe Murphy and say hello to him on his channel. Take care, everyone, and have a great stream. See you all later.